Mark Robertson, since you took over initially as interim manager, of course now head coach, 5 goals scored in the last 15 minutes of games. What can you take from that moving forward in terms of encouragement?
Well, I'd say if we'd scored before, we would have won more games. But no, in terms of, obviously it shows the lads have got character, and I've said that, and they're building character. I think probably more importantly, we've come behind from losing positions on 3 occasions now, and I don't think we've done that all season. I might be wrong, but I don't think that was the case. So it shows they care, and so they should. But it shows they're in it together, and it's a good thing. But again, it's more about now we turn. I think we have drawn 4 out of our last 5 now, but we've got to turn those draws into wins, and that's where our focus is.
Just going to ask you what the focus has been since the midweek game in terms of training and preparation.
Yeah, no, it's exactly that. As I said, we don't get much time on the training pitch, but the focus in the meetings is exactly that, is where we're coming up short. What we're doing well to have a solid base. So you have to keep that, because we have to work off a solid base. But how we're going to add that next layer, and how we're going to turn those draws into wins. So how we're going to create more chances, more clear-cut chances, a little bit more chaos in the penalty area, so things might drop to us, because, as I said before, a lot of goals are scored in second phases in this league. So it's just that's where our focus has been. We've got some analysis that helps with that. You can see where you're strong and where you're not so strong. And we've looked at the top 4 teams in the league, and we're strong in a lot of stuff that we're doing off the ball now. But it's just a couple of elements that you look at the teams that are doing really well where they're better than us. So it's trying to get that message across, and in a limited time trying to work on that. So that's our big focus. But as I said, we can't lose the base we've worked off.
In terms of possession as well, we've had the stats have been more in our favour in terms of being on the ball. Are you happy with that? But perhaps, as you say, tinged with we've got to do more in the final third.
Yeah, and as I said, it's always got to be possession for a purpose. So the possession stats are important, because it gives the players time to. It means when you're without the ball, you're never getting a chance to rest, and mentally when you've never got the ball, it's not a great place to be in. So having more of the ball is a good thing, but it's what we do with it. And I think Wigan actually was our first time. I think we were 49%. We were a bit low, but it's always about what you're doing with the ball. But I kind of expected that, because we played 4-4-2. And we hadn't had much of a chance to work on it. It was more about getting two up top. So I knew the football, sometimes it's harder to dominate the ball in that formation, especially when you haven't worked on it. But as I said, it's no point talking about possession unless it has a purpose. But once the possession has a purpose, and then you're keeping the ball as well, obviously that's a really good place to be in. So, yeah.
And also the FAU Cup last night, there must have been elements of that performance that you would love to take forward for the first team.
It's more than that's what it's all about. Exactly that. The academy was built on a no excuse culture. That and as I said, people might call us idealists, but it's better to be that than excuses. And that's how the academy's been built on. That we can you can achieve anything. No ifs and buts, no excuses, no deflection. And you saw that the other night. They're playing a Cat 1 academy again. It's not the first time we've seen it over the years. Our FA Youth Cup record now must be up there with, some huge clubs. So, and again, I talk about mindsets, but they take time to change, Chris. Because that's been the culture of the academy, to never deflect and have no excuses, no matter what you're playing. Probably hasn't been the same here at first team level. So, and again, that takes time to change those, because people will straight away go back and go, oh, if that, or he was at fault, or we blame the ref, and all the other stuff that you've got no control over, and basically has no real influence on the performance. So, no, it's everything, and it was great to watch again. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
And the young lads who were involved in the goal, quite rightly, got loads of headlines and photographs on social media, but young Ben Mason charging up and down the right side, that's surely what we want to see, isn't it?
Again, and if you knew young Ben, and people don't see it, if you saw what he did to get a scholarship and the presentation he did, and as I said, it's a very different place. The players, to earn scholarships, they come to us, well, not Michael now obviously, and they present why they should be a scholar and why they should play for Wimbledon Football Club. you know, and that's the culture that's built there. So they're actually presenting about their own personal plans and what they're going to do to get better. And you know, if you saw young Ben's plan, it's unbelievable, and they're all the same. So yeah, you know, like anyone, they have to be brought back into line with the values. So no, it's exactly everything that you want at first team level, and it's no excuse to go, well, that's development. You know, life's development. You never stop learning, you never stop getting better.
And a key thing in terms of the first team, what you've said is it's all about us as a team.
Yeah.
Does that change at all with the appointment of a new manager for Charlton, Nigel Adkins?
I don't know, Chris. I don't know. You know, I don't think it's worth even thinking about it. You know, I've got no idea what that means to them. You know, I don't know the players. I don't know Nigel personally, apart from obviously he's a quality manager. So it's just an irrelevant. All we need to think about is what we're going to be doing.
In terms of team news, how are we shaping up for Saturday?
Yeah, had a bit of not so good news. Darnell's injured, so DJ's out and Callum's out as well. So not the news you want to hear, and really, you know, disappointed for those two lads, obviously, because you know they've had a big impact. Cal's been doing really well, and DJ, as we know, has been doing fantastic. So we're without those two tomorrow, but you know, this is what we're all about. We're all in it together. It's what Wimbledon's about.
What are their two injuries at the moment?
So they're both ankles, and I'm waiting to hear further news on both of them. Yeah, but both ankle injuries. We've just got to see how bad they are.
One thing you mentioned was Yarko Oxenden showing a really good attitude to put club before country.
Yeah, and they're the gains that you're seeing. You know, so when you ask me about the academy and are there changes, there are changes. You know, there's lots of changes you're seeing in people's mindsets. And Yarko rang me the other day and said, Robbo, I'd rather not go away on international duty. If you need me, I'd like to be here for the team, and that's, you know, that's fantastic. And he didn't know about the Callum injury before then. This was before the game. So yeah, which is absolutely great news, and you know that's what you want to hear, because obviously I wouldn't want to deny the lad that if he wanted to go, but he said he'd rather be here fighting for the team and fighting for his place. So you know, that was a real positive moment for the whole squad.
Can you just clarify the situation with Sam Walker? I think we left it that he'd gone back when you last updated us.
Yeah, so we're still waiting to hear, you know, how long he's going to be out, but he's gone back to Reading. You know, he's had scans and stuff. So again, we're waiting for final news on that in terms of how long he's going to be out.
And the player who came in January, Corey Andrews, how's he? We haven't heard much about him.
No, Corey trained today, so he's been on limited training. Chris has been working really hard with him, getting him fit and sharp, and he trained today. So it was his first kind of proper session back, and he did well. He looked sharp. So hopefully within a week or two, probably two, that could be another option for us.
In terms of Plough Lane again tomorrow, Charlton Athletic, this is the type of game like a London derby where the fans would be in, Plough Lane could be heaving. What's your message to them that, you know, that we're going to put everything into this for this game?
Yeah, I mean, maybe I see it differently. I'd like to think they've seen that, possibly whole, maybe not. But I don't think we did not put anything. We just went away from what we've been doing in that game. But you know, as you said, last minute equaliser away to Blackpool, last minute equaliser away to Shrewsbury, last minute winner away to Wigan, last minute winner at home to Gillingham, and even the Burton game. You know, as I said, did we create enough? But it was a game of three chances. So I'd like to think the fans have seen that the players are doing absolutely everything. As I said, it's just about us together. So yeah, well, obviously I just want them to stick with us. I know they're not there in noise, but you know, obviously players will hear things and see their responses to performances. So hopefully they're seeing that we're doing absolutely everything to get out of this, and not only get out of this, build something special for the future.